Hello my friends, I'm Jeff, I'm a wizard, welcome to my horoscope. This episode we talk about sexual healing. Might be a bit of a heavy subject, but I'm kind of excited about it. I need to get it off my chest. I do have 3 things to say before we start. The first thing is I will be showing you the cards this horoscope instead of me talking, for a couple of reasons, but I think mostly for this subject it would be very helpful for you to see the cards. Secondly, normally I don't make a fuss about whatever sign you listen to, but for this episode I would advise you to really ask your intuition or look at the picture of all the signs in a minute, and then whatever catches your eye, I would listen to that. I could go into a long story why I want to suggest that, but I will not. So just do that. And then 3, I just bought this really cool ring. Oh my god, it has a container. Okay, so that's this little thing that opens. And the first person, oh my god, I sounded so Dutch or Flemish there. The first person who guesses what I put in there wins a free reading. Okay, so put your answer in the comment section if you think you know what I would have put in my cool ring here. I think it's a garnet, but if it's a garnet then it's an orange garnet, which is pretty rare I thought, so it wasn't that expensive. I love this ring, really. So without further ado, choose your sign or signs, go to the timestamps in the description box, and then I will see you at your reading. Have a very nice day. Bye. Hello Taurus. This episode we start with you. That was chosen at random by Waite. It makes sense that in Aries retrograde we put Aries in the back. Another annoying thing for me, and Aries, you have no idea how much work I put up in setting up this video, the lights, just getting myself going. It was terrible. But come on Taurus, we can do this. Let's start with you. I'm doing something wrong here. I had them like this. Okay. So your card number 1 is Gunst. Okay, let's sharpen that up a bit for you. Then the 3 of Wands. What I just said, Aries reversed, Aries retrograde. No idea why that's important here. And then Ace of Swords and the Hanged Man upside down. Okay, so let's talk about sexual healing. Where do I see? There's I would say first, this is no balance, no planning, no not taking your time to study something or to think about something or to look at something before you go ahead. It's like kind of like a bull here, you know, no, just all action, no planning, no thinking about it, no insight. But then this Ace of Swords, okay, what is this about? Okay, this is what you need to know, Taurus. Sorry, it took me a while. What you should consider is that you approach sex or the act of sex very mentally. You say, you see something or you do sex in a sort of yes, go, no, stop kind of way. Okay, that's a very bad way of explaining it. This is very mental. What was weird is like this is this sword, this mental thing is up, so it's just saying you have the right idea, but it's like let's say you find what you like, or you know what you like, and you go for that, but it's like you don't think beyond that. Just like, I know what I want, I have it, period. And you stay in that safe little box maybe. So you are lacking sort of, what I would say, a bit of, these are 3 aspects that you should try to implement more into how you approach sex, okay? This is, first of all, balance, but this also says kunst, this is art. Consider the sexual act not as this pre-programmed thing that is, I don't know, you see it very like very simple, like, okay, this is my part, this is your part, let's do it, this is how you do it, and this is how you act after, and done. It's like you're very rigid in that. And you're missing the whole point of the beauty of sex or making love, is the whole, you add something, I add something, and we create something together, and something I can never do alone, because I need you, and the element of surprise is there. So you could say, I put up an idea, and the other person builds on that idea, and then I can build on that idea, and then hopefully you make something playful that you both like, and then you create magic. Really, that's good sex. But it requires a balance, and that means for you, mostly, what you need to realize, for you, that means you think your role is a certain way, and you're very active in that. It's like you need to learn to take the passive stance, I think, more. Or in both ways, whatever way, I think you are sort of hanging in one way, and you're not playing with both. You're like, I am the active part, I do this and this, so I take the lead. And you don't leave any window for that, for change, or for sort of the playfulness. And the opposite maybe as well, like you are the passive side, so you say, okay, that's my job, and I don't go beyond those little borders. It's about being more open to the other side, by being more playful, and it's not that you have to do something you don't like, or just try different stuff. It's more about, let's say, I don't know, let's say that you could be talking about a sexual position here, but I then would say, like, okay, don't change the position that you like to do, but try to see in that position what other things you can do, or if you could try to be more in active way, or in a more passive way, leaning back more, seeing what the other person does, or and then I come to this point, is Hanged Man. This is something you need to start doing, and this is very easy actually, is to break this, is to tell yourself when you're on a date, when you're kissing, when you're making love, when you're masturbating, whatever, is to kind of break your chain of actions, and to say, oh, I'm just going to take a second here and look around. What is going on right now? What am I seeing? What is happening? What is the other person doing? Try to, it's like snap out of that tunnel vision a bit and look around again, and try to observe more, instead of thinking, oh, what should I do? What should I do? Oh, that's what I should do. Is that right? Is that wrong? Just go like, what is this other person doing? Or what am I feeling at this moment? What is going on actually? It's kind of a snap out of this tunnel vision, snap out of this sharpness, and just take a backseat approach to things. It's passive side again. And then this no planning. Yeah, I mean, could be saying the same. Could be saying that normally you're very like rigid in your planning, that this is the way it goes, this is the way I do it, this is the way I like people to do it to me. Stop doing that. Or maybe it could also be saying, aim higher, or you're not aiming for what you want maybe at all. You're like playing it safe again. You are, maybe you've once decided like, oh, I don't know. Could be both ways. I'm not going to go into that. I think mostly I want to address the overly masculine aspect here, or just the rigidity, that it's a very mental thing almost, and you're losing the art of the playfulness, or to sing like try something different, or fantasize about some things different, or be open for new things. Okay, I'm actually feeling bad about this 3 of Wands card. I feel like the last thing I said, I think I chose the easy way out there, and we don't like that. Okay, this is the deeper level. Look, I think, Taurians, you are maybe doing this, you're like kind of have chosen or closed off a bit for this playing game, and you don't really take an active part in trying to build a sexual relationship anymore, because I think you're not really going for what you want. I think you are having encounters with a safe bet or something, or something you thought out would be a good thing for you, but it's not really with your heart maybe. And I think it stems upon you not you don't dare to plan for what you really want, or you don't dare to really look at what is it that really makes you excited, or dream about someone that really makes you nervous. And I think you choose to sort of cover that insecurity with having thought out a really good way of going about it, but you're kind of stuck in situations where it's a very mental decision, and you're not that invested. The magic is not there, maybe. So maybe this is a safety, a sort of pattern that you made to not get hurt or not get disappointed, or maybe at one point, you just learned that, or you just had somebody that didn't want to do this, or you had a bad example. I don't know, that's too deep. I think that's the deeper level. This is a bit of an insecurity about what you really, really, really want, and to keep control over that, or to kind of cover that up, you became a really mental, a bit overly masculine in this, very like not really allowing other people in, or not really putting yourself in a position where you have to be too open or too vulnerable again. So that's the thing. And then also you really need to, even though maybe you are not unsure of what you really want, or maybe you're not unsure of in the situation that you're in, if this is what you want, do this approach. Just try to go in the Hanged Man. Say, okay, actually I don't need to know anything. I don't need to decide anything. I don't need to be the one that has all the answers. I can just kind of sit back and observe what is going on. What actually is my partner doing? Maybe test some ideas a bit. I mean, this is just asking you to look, but not keep rushing ahead out of, I don't know, it's the same. Be a bit more passive. I don't know. Don't make it so serious. Don't make it so serious, and allow the playfulness again, or like realize you've been a bit in a tunnel vision, and you need to stop that. Okay, Taurus. I hope that's the thing with the first reading. It was difficult. Have a very nice day. Bye. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your reading. Oh my god, it sounds so boring. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your reading. Let's look at your cards. You have the Waite tarot card with the cool colors. My favorites. Ooh, see? The Emperor. Nice. The Eight of Cups. And the Two of Pentacles. An annoying card. And the Empress. Wow. Okay. What is happening here? I'm gonna try to get this a bit sharp, but my lighting situation. Okay, that's better. Eh? Let's look at these cards. So we have the Emperor and the Empress. That's very interesting. Now, you would almost think, oh my god, this is kind of a love reading, right? There's kind of a thing here. Yeah, but that's not it. Look, Gemini, this is, again, I feel, it's like a lesson you sort of are learning over and over again. Look, Gemini, these are two parts of a whole, okay? And you have both parts, but I think this is, I think I'm mostly talking to my emperors here, but it goes for both sides, male, female, doesn't matter what side you take. It's about realizing that this is a beautiful balance, these two sides, and they are both equally important, okay? A relationship, any relationship, that also means a one-night stand, get over yourself. It's a relationship, okay? And any relationship, it's you want a relationship where you have two equal parts holding up the same roof, okay? But they're not leaning on each other, they're not looking down on each other, not one is more important than the other. It's about respecting what the other person brings to the table. It's about respecting what the other person is giving you. And I think mostly here, the emperors have a lot of difficulty respecting what this female side brings to the relationship, to a relationship, also to sex, because you could say, oh, he's doing all the active work, and she just mostly, I mean, in a classical way, you could look at that, or the woman can be the emperor, and the man can be the empresses. These are two sides having a balance, okay? And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. This is just an example, okay? Like, forget the emperor, forget the empress. This is about you and your partner should be equal sides, and you need to respect what the other person brings to the table and what you bring to the table, okay? There needs to be a balance there, okay? Not one person being more or being in charge or having more or having his needs met more just because. You know what I mean? This could go a very deep way, but we're talking about sexual healing here. Yeah, it's in during sex or in the sexual act, it's about recognizing, again, it's about respecting the other person and learning to value what they are giving you, recognizing that, honoring that, and treasuring that, okay? I'm kind of trying to, okay, let's just look at the other two cards I got. These are, okay, these are a bit like the extra explanation here. So for our emperor, we have this 8 of cups, which just means emperors, the men, the masculine side, really need to just, let me think. This is again this balance. So this could be just saying, there needs to be balance, and that balance needs to be watched. It's very important. And this could be saying to not be in your emotions so much, I thought it was saying first, it's like, look at your emotions, stop running away from it, stop turning your back to it. Respect this moon side. Yes, respect this moon side. And then for this empress, it's, yeah, I feel for the empress side, for the female side, it's more of a recognition that when this balance is not being met, to recognize that more, or to not underestimate yourself, not stand up for yourself. Yeah, I think this is about this empress not falling into this passive side, supporting this king. It's about really seeing that she is equal in this relationship. Because I do have to say, and this is a bit a mistake that I think the female side makes a lot of the times, and which is the reason why this emperor doesn't see this disbalance or is confused about this, is because this empress is acting in a way that is not giving her the right weight. So it's like she's putting herself in a disbalanced position, which makes the emperor very confused. And maybe that's also a safety that the female side uses by playing this victim part a bit, maybe, or not seeing her full strength, and then projecting that on this masculine side a bit too much, or expecting, I don't know, a bit of a confusion in that. And it's a bit of a chicken of the egg, eh? Did the emperor start by disrespecting the empress, and or society plays a big part in this, where we are. I don't know, that's one thing I'm seeing coming up. And then something about this card. I wanted to say about sort of learning to let go of the past, of past pains, and not bringing that into your union, into your relationship, not putting bringing old emotions back, or you know what, no, it's not hiding your emotions for both sides here. It's about speaking up, both this empress, because maybe that's, I think, what I wanted to say with allowing this disbalance is about she stops speaking up. She stops complaining about things that make her unhappy. She stops asking why the dad is not coming to dinner because she thinks it doesn't work. But because she stops asking, she's sort of enabling it. And after 5 years of not asking, you can't turn to another person again and say, like, I blame you for not giving me this, okay? On the other hand, if this person is not listening, you need to make a choice. Do I keep asking? Do I become louder? Or do I go away? Right? But to not allow yourself to go into a relationship where these things become buried, right? And you stop opening up, you stop sharing your anger. And this is the hard part, I think. But if you're angry, even if it's inconvenient, you have to share it. You have to open up, okay? You have to allow yourself, the other person, to see who you really are. And that means sharing the spontaneous thoughts and ideas and reactions that come up within you, and without judgment. If it's right or wrong, it's you, okay? So don't give the other person the calculated version, don't give the other person the over-emotional version or an example so that he or she may understand. Yeah, that's the bell, so that means the end. And I wanted to say it's the same for the sex. I mean, this all applies to the sex most of all, but I think this is very big, more deeper relationship thing here, okay? So both sides, equal parts, holding up the same roof. Respect your partner, okay? If they make you sad, if they make you angry, if you're unhappy, open up, share your thoughts, share your ideas, or the sex will keep sucking. It will get worse. Trust me, you don't want to go there, okay? Good luck. Gosh, these are cool cards. I mean, go you. So yeah, good day. Goodbye, Gemini. Bye. Hello, Cancers. Welcome to your reading. I have 6 cards for you. I chose to mix some 2 decks here. A couple of decks around, so I wanted to use different cards. I don't know why. These decks match together really nicely. I mean, these are normal playing cards, and these are the Lenormand Healing Light. So you have a bear and a rat. Interesting. What about that? 15 and 23. Those are like not weird numbers. like weirdos. Okay, I have let's put them like this. The sounds you may be hear on the background is my cat playing around the desk. Okay. Okay. Okay, Cancers. I'm just gonna talk out loud. What I'm saying, because subject is sexual healing, so I'm looking for that. But what is coming to mind is I have this bear and I have this rat, and both have their quirks. It feels like okay, this could be two. This could be a dynamic of two people, and they're both a bit quirky. Like just I make that of these numbers. They feel like unfinished. They feel like they're missing their other party, sort of. Let's start with this rat, which let's say that the rat is kind of about survival. So this may be somebody who is thinking for the short term. Oh my God! Short term victory. Okay, instant gratification, and not really considering love, not really wanting to invest anything, just looking for the win, looking to get. Very mental, so not very emotional, and just really looking for that victory here. And then we have this bear, somebody who can carry a lot, very strong person, somebody who also, I feel like, is overbearing just because of that word, but maybe somebody who brings a lot of burdens, because you know, like you're not taking a little rat in the house, you're taking a huge giant bear in the house who eats a lot, takes up a lot of space, who needs a lot of hugs, who gets very temperamental maybe. And then this page here, or this jack of clovers, matching these clovers, this matches kind of well. So like I feel like this side has a bit of an immature communication, maybe. Needs a lot of neediness, a lot of instant gratification. Okay, but why is this sexual? What is sexual? What I also notice is these clovers, these shapes here. This is cool. It's like the rat is protecting itself. They have a shield around it. And this bear has his heart more on its sleeve. But can be, how do I say it, like, you know, like it has his heart on its sleeve but can change his mind really fast. Moody blues. So maybe this is dynamic you get into as a Cancer. Maybe as a Cancer I think you are prone to these two things, or to encounter these things. No, I think you are prone to this because of your nature of wanting to kind of, you know, like I always think of the Cancer has a hard shell, so they want to like be a tank, be a fort. They want that's a big priority, and that's the same with these both animals. They are both about survival, about safety, about fighting for that. They prioritize this, okay? So they're a bit of set in their ways, or they're very okay. That's what it's asking you to look at. Like, how are you maybe fitting into one of these two categories, or have aspects of this kind where you're Okay, but again, talking about sexual healing, I have to keep myself, bring myself coming back, but I think that's the point here. I think that's your problem as with sex goes. You have, maybe there's this part, or some people have this maybe, where they consider sex as sort of outside of themselves. It's a thing for instant gratification, for the victory. They want to win, they want to have the fun, but they don't really invest. They are really working on on themselves. Or maybe this is how they see other people, you know, they don't see very warm, a lot of warmth. They see other people as everybody's fighting for themselves. Everybody's trying to get what they want. Everybody's trying to just, you know, like get what's theirs, and everybody wants this victory. So that's maybe why you are also hesitant to show your heart, because you see rats all around, right? And then you have this other part that maybe applies to you or somebody you know. You have trouble just having this is too disengaged. This is like you see, like you, the real you, is completely separate from your sexual side. This is something you have on the side, and maybe a mask you put on, or this is, you see it in this very mental way. And then you have another part that is like over-engaged, that wants too much, or that has too high expectations, or that can't detach the emotions very well, you know? So then instead of maybe having a playful sexual fun side, or maybe going at this in a playful, careful side, you become maybe very needy, or you see too many worries, you make too much of it, you become overprotective maybe, you don't know how to communicate, like this clumsy bear, you know, you just feel like this huge clumsy bear that really just wants a hug, and people are scared of it, kind of. Okay? I feel like I can think of more things here. This nice bear. There's this, okay, that's the last thing I say. There's one, when I was young, there's this small cartoon that I used to love watching at my grandma's house. It was called Bongo the Bear or something, and it was about this circus bear that fell out of the train. Well, and it fell into the forest, and then it has to survive in the forest, but it's not a real bear, you know, it's this little circus bear that has a little unicycle and a little costume on. So it's trying to figure it out, and then it meets this lady bear, okay? And the lady bear really, like the girl, really likes a Bongo. But then, because Bongo doesn't know this, but bears, when they like each other, they slap each other. You know, it's like a love slap. And so the little girl slaps him, but he doesn't know that's what happens. So he's kind of confused, because this girl just slapped him, and he really likes her. And then I have this huge song about, like, if you like each other, you give a slap or something. I'm not telling you to engage in domestic violence here. That's not, but it's just saying that some people's love language is different, and maybe yours is a bit rough, maybe a bit strong, and think you can have both sides, where when you engage, you are a bit like this big bear that has a different communication, or has a bit of a clumsy communication, showing your affection, and can't really detach, so you maybe, when you give yourself in this way, or when you engage in sex, it's a big deal for you, and you can't really just be playful about this, or kind of play this. You're not good at playing the sly guy here, or you're not good at being a player, maybe. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So look at that movie. It's really funny. And then the voice would go, "Poor Bongo," but then in Dutch, like "Arme Bongo." It was a funny movie. Okay, so, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to finish. Like, you can have both. You can be this over-engaging, but then the way you fix that, the way you handle this, try to handle this, is by you becoming this, maybe entering this rat spirit, you know, because you're not this very clever in maybe putting people in a distance, or showing what you really want. So maybe you shut down and you become this rat when you really are this bear inside. Yeah, something to think about, Cancers. Okay, yeah, that went somewhere. Thank you, bye-bye. Hello, Lions. How are you? Let's look at your cards. You have the cards from our Red Sonja Tarot. So, some nice sexy lady cards, yes. Okay, we're gonna start upright, because they told me to. Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love, these are my favorite cards of the deck. We're lucky. Two major arcanas, the Sun, whoa, Four of Cups, okay, kind of know where this is going, And the Five of Wands, my Leos, my Leos. So let's look at your sex life, your sexual problems. What could a lion have problems with, huh? You would wonder. Well, this Sun card is very saying it all. Let's think. So there's this aspect here of you just being you speaking the truth. You don't hide yourself. You also don't know very well what you want. So you're kind of defensive. You kind of lock yourself in a bit. You are very open. You're like, I'm a lion. You roar, right? But look, she's open but closed. You are honest and you don't hide yourself, but you also kind of turn away. And you also have this thing hidden. Yeah. And look at this Ouroboros. Like, I'm just looking at this because normally this means God, I don't want to go into it, but for right now, I really feel like you are like a bit of the same analogy as this is the way you shoot yourself in the foot, or this is the way you kind of are confused. When you have a snake, when they do this, it's usually when they are, I thought it happened when they're overheated, so they become confused and they'll lie in their water like this. And after a while, when they cool back down, they'll let go. Or when they're very hungry and they get confused. I thought it was something like that. But in any ways, you're confused and you're eating your own tail. And that's because you've found a bit of a maladaptive way of handling this, and that is because it's kind of understandable. Look, you're a proud lion, and you're surrounded by not so proud lions. So you get a lot of attention, or people really like you, and then people want a lot from you, and you don't really want to or show yourself or fully, or you feel like people don't really know this part and they're really just in love with you for your looks maybe, or because you're very outgoing, you're very extrovert, maybe you make people feel very comfortable, maybe you are just very comfortable at you being you, and that's very attractive, or you know very well who you are or what you want kind of, or you have this aspect that is a bit of a, you shine bright, okay? So people are attracted to that, and that's normal, but people don't often realize that they are not showing this part, or they are not being this their most, I don't know, attractive self, and then they kind of expect you to see through that. And what people then do is they expect you to see their true beauty and to see their true insights, but they don't take the effort to look at your real insights, okay? Like, and I mean your heart and your emotions and your dreams and your... They don't take the time to really learn who you really are, how you really work, right? But they do expect you to love them for who they are, while they are kind of being superficial here a little bit, okay? That's one line of thought that kind of, but it all ends up in the same situation where you don't know, like you are also trying to just have relationships or trying to do your thing, but you have found a way to keep people a bit on a distance or to handle these kinds of problems, and that is by not engaging, or you don't commit, or you kind of, it's like almost like this, and I know I see lions do this, or I see people do this, is where they, let's say you have a very attractive person, and then these people come around and they want to talk to, let's say it's a beautiful girl, let's say it's this beautiful girl, and then guys come to talk to her, and they're like talking and they're introducing themselves, and you know when it happens, when these guys are not even realizing that she's barely saying anything, or she's annoyed and she's trying to not engage, so she's giving very short answers, or she's being a bit rude even. Like, you know, when you get even rude or pushy, to just make people listen to the fact that, hey, I don't really want to talk to you. But these guys are just ignoring that, right? So that's sort of the trap you fall into, is where you kind of stop trying to defend yourself, but at the same time you become very closed and very defensive. So you sort of apply the same rule to everyone, and this is where maybe you fall into this trap of people come at you, and instead of discerning if you really like these people or if they are really interested in you, you kind of have this, you just push away. That's sort of your first, when people come at you, or when in sex, maybe when people show you affection, or they want to admire you, or go into this too much, or they love bomb, you kind of close down. And I think that also leaves you a bit sexually in this sort of weird phase where you kind of feel like you're just pushing away or saying no a lot, or just feel like you can't really let loose. You can't really let go because people take advantage of that, or they're not listening anyways, right? So you become defensive and you get into arguments. I think you become rude, you become bitchy, you become a bit of a douchebag, and you kind of know this, but and then people, and then this is the shitty part, right, guys? People don't react to your douchiness, to your bitchiness, to the mean things you're saying. They're not listening. But the moment you turn them down, or you say no to them, you don't want to hang out with them again, or you don't want to give them sex, suddenly they become very angry about what you said, or they suddenly, you're the bitch, or you're the asshole, or you're super arrogant, right? Because you said no, not because of what you were saying, you know? So they're not listening, and you have a hard time dealing with that, and you have a hard time letting people in, or knowing how far. So I think you do these quick hit and runs where you kind of are like, you know, the Four of Cups is this guy who's kind of a bit bored, and he has all these cups in front of them, and he really doesn't know what he wants. And then oftentimes there's a cup being offered to him, but he doesn't realize it, or he's not looking at him because he's so busy being bored. And that's the same problem you have, because you're so busy, my little lions, blocking these annoying things off, or blocking these annoying people off, or trying to get people to respect who you are on the inside, not just what you look like. You are kind of also because of you putting energy into this, because you're pushing away into things you don't like, you're also not looking at what you do like, or being open for new things or things you would like, and putting energy that way in, because you're so busy, let's say, saying no to people you don't want to date. You have no time for the people you do want to date to come at you, or when they do come at you, you're kind of so annoyed, or you feel so confused at how to act, you kind of blow it up. And this is like in the dating wise, but like look at this in the sex aspect now. When you're having sex, you're so busy, you don't know how to open up, or you don't know how to really connect, because you feel like people do not connect with you. You feel like people connect with your appearance, or this lion thing you have, but they're not really connecting with who you really are. So you kind of just, I think when you have sex, you dissociate a bit, and you become defensive. So what happens is, when you have sex with somebody and you feel like they're into you, you get into the physical stuff, and like, let's say you're cuddling and it's kind of nice, and suddenly they're super excited and they go like, oh, I love you, and they're kissing your neck, and they're kissing your chest, and they're like taking your clothes off, and suddenly you dissociate. You become very mental, you get all in your head, and it's like you're looking at yourself having sex, or you're just thinking like, well, I guess that's nice, I should probably let him continue, or is that how he's feeling? And this other person has no idea. He's just continuing in his love romantic movie that he's in, and you're just not there. You're just all in your head. You just dissociate. Okay, guys? Okay, I said a lot of things, and I think I'm just trying to really explain this very clear image I'm seeing. But the solution here, I think the solution is you just realizing, first of all, oh, I'm really doing this. First of all, the respect that you should give to yourself, that like, hey, actually, this is hard. People are actually really mean and really superficial, and they're all in it for themselves, and they really want to take advantage of you. And you've seen probably examples of this, so you have a good reason to protect yourself. However, you need to start realizing that You need to be more conscious in what you do. You need to stop going into this passive mode where people are coming at you and you need to say no or yes. Stop that. You, from now on, you are the lion. You see the prey. You go after it, okay? So stop letting people come at you and you putting yourself into this uncomfortable position where you feel like people are taking too much or pushing too hard, or you have no idea to gauge if what they really want, okay? So from now on, you become very conscious of what you want. So that means when you go out or when you are on a date or when you go having sex, you decide in the first place, what do I want? What am I hoping for? What do I like to do? And you state the intention of like, I'm going to do that. I want to have a good time, and this is what I like, and that is what I hope to achieve. Or this is the kind of person that I hope to meet or to date. You have to become more conscious in that, and also in sex. So if you're there and you go into your head and you're not enjoying, you say, stop, I'm not enjoying myself. Take a break. Just think about it again. What do I want? If this is nice, you need to take a hold of it again, okay? Stop being in the passenger seat, get into the driver's seat, okay? And fuck other people. You still are caring way too much because you still are being way too nice. You're being passive aggressive. You're not speaking up. And you kind of became complacent in the fact that people are not really listening to what I'm saying because I'm this lion or whatever. So you need to make them listen more, okay? And if they don't listen, turn your back and get away from this, okay? And yes, it can be hard, but there are bigger problems in the world than you being too attractive and having too much attention, okay? That's a tough love kind of way of just saying, learn to appreciate what you got, and that actually people are very attracted to you, and that you have a great attraction maybe, or that you have something that people really like. Start to enjoy that, and you do that by becoming more, act like the driver's seat. You say, oh my God, I have this amazing thing that's fun to play with, and other people like to play with this too. So be like how a kid feels when he goes to school and he has this toy that he knows other kids will want to play with. So he's like, he feels proud and he's like boasting and he's like all cool when kids are passing it or playing with it and being jealous of him. So enjoy, but remember, be in the driver's seat. You decide what you want, and then when you're having sex with somebody that you really like, enjoy yourself. Stop thinking, enjoy yourself, and do that thinking, do that emotional stuff, do that emotional consideration. Okay, I would really like this person, or they really like me. What do I want? Do I continue with this? Yes or no? And then you decide yes or no, and you continue. Okay, so that's just saying when you have sex, first you decide if this is what you want and if this is what you like and if this is yes or no. But then you decide and you go. Okay, and then during the sex you just try to have nice sex. Okay. Or you say, I really don't know, I really want to explore, see what this is like, and then you explore. And then if in the middle of sex or during the kissing or when they just want to, I don't know, put your dick in their mouth, or when they're just about to do whatever and you don't like it, you say, stop, I'm sorry, I don't like this, I'm gonna go. And they're probably gonna not listen to you. And this is one important warning for everybody who has to have sex with men. I'm just telling you this now, okay? Saying no during sex is difficult. You have to repeat yourself and you have to say it really firmly, okay? And I've experienced this. I'm a really big guy and I have sex with men, and when I wanted them to stop, I really had to sometimes take them by the shoulders and say, no, stop, I do not want this. And then they snap out of it. And then they take you seriously. But you need to really learn to stand up for that and take people by the shoulders, okay? And I think that starts with you taking yourself by the shoulders, because in those moments, it's not about yelling at that other person, it's more to yourself. It's like, no, I don't want this, stop. And it's more of the convincing of myself that was often so difficult than making that other person stop. But I could also see that me just whispering stop or saying I don't like this, or just thinking out loud, I don't know if I like this, I don't know if I want this, doesn't work. They will not stop, okay? And that's all me or you just trying to be nice and not hurting the other person's feelings while disregarding ourselves. So take control, get in the driver's seat lines and be aligned, okay? That was a lot. I hope it helped. Have a very nice day. Bye-bye. Hello Virgo, welcome to your reading. Let's look at your cards. I am using my favorite cards. My Rider Waite, the shinies, with the colors. Yes. Just look at the colors. That's most of the work we'll be doing today, Virgo. Okay. Let's put you up. Before I started, I was making again the mistake I always make where I put the camera back into the holder, and because it's on the my phone, and because it's on the photo mode and not on the video mode, the view is way wider, and suddenly the view I had before with the other videos is gone. So I'm like fixing it, and I'm figuring it out and what is wrong, and I'm shifting everything around, and I'm like, oh, it's not on the right mode. So that was another 10 minutes of my life ruined. Wow. This is doing something. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Then my also favorite card. The first, my last, my everything. The Eight of Wands. And we have the Six of Swords reversed. Oh my God, Virgos, are we going back into the same water with you of not being able to let go when you have something? Do you overinvest? Yeah, for sure. Oh God, yeah, for sure. So Virgos, I think you're very picky. I think you're very smart. I think you're also very aware. And I think you're also, okay, this is the first thing I need to say to you that will help you out, Virgos. You are undervaluing yourself. You do not realize you are an earth sign, okay? So you are strong in these qualities, which means that you're good at sex, or that you're better than you think, you're more beautiful than you think you are more desirable than you think you are, okay? So you're selling yourself short, and you're not asking enough for yourself. But you handle this both ways. First of all, by sort of becoming overly picky. I think like you are, it's very weird. You're smart and you're very like sort of a balanced sign, the Virgo. It's like, how do I want to say this? All right, okay, so sorry, I had to start over because my cat, while playing, got herself stuck a little bit and then made the most awful and weird sounds and panic. And then she was so dazed, and she was just there looking at me from the corner, and I thought like, oh no, is something wrong? She just looked so blank, and then she just attacked me like playing again. So but I kind of think it's sort of talking about you a bit when you have this overexcitement and this underexcitement or something. Like I was saying, how do I say this? So you're afraid because you feel like you can't really trust yourself, or it's difficult. You feel like when you play, you get hurt or you get stuck, right? It's annoying for you. It's hard for you to just be playful and fiery and sexy and do these things without being more serious about this, or without making it, without getting hurt, because I think you are emotional, and also that earthy aspect is you don't take it lightly, right? So people who live more in their head, or are very spiritual, or are floaty, or are very fiery, have a lot less consideration for earthly things, and you absolutely have that. So let's just start there by saying, look, you just take these things more seriously, and that's who you are, period. Stop trying to play other people's games. Stop trying to make yourself uncomfortable and being playful and being uncomfortable and scared, okay? You have the right to just feel playful and light in a comfortable setting, something that you feel is nice and you don't have to worry, okay? So that is something you have to just demand and not let other people drag you into their stuff, okay? So, and I wanted to say there's not a lot of mental aspect here. It's like you lose that part of yourself a little bit because you, I think, become, yeah, like, so either you, I think you push a lot away, you're afraid to engage because you have this a lot of fears, or when you do engage, it's like you, it's take it too seriously, or you, when you invest a little bit in something, it's very important to you. Like I said, you take these earthly matters very seriously, so maybe too serious. Or in other people's perspective, it's a bit of a weird thing that you do. So it's like when you offer this Ace of Cups to somebody, when you offer your love to somebody or your affection, even if it's just sex, okay, even if it's just intimacy, even if it's just nice words, even, you have taken it seriously, you've thought about this, you're done shopping, okay? Other people are having sex like this. It's like, do I want this pentacle? Maybe, and they drop it and and they go. You're not like that. When you take up this pentacle, you've thought very clearly about it. So when you offer sex or when you engage in sex, there's this cup attached, okay? So that's who you are, maybe. That's another thing, just accept who you are, okay? And maybe this is not completely who you are, the thing I just described or the person I just described, but I think that the same lesson applies. Is look how you are in this aspect. When you have sex, is it important to you? Do you feel like somebody takes something from you when you have sex? Because that's a normal feeling to have. Then when you just have sex, even if it's just frivolous, even if you don't even want this person, it can feel like somebody takes something from you, and not in a bad way, but it's like like when you have something new and other people use it, like just a normal item or a sweater, it's kind of like they took away the new feeling or the kind of the energy of that thing. So that thing happens, and other people are just not so aware of it, and you are. This 8 of Wands means, I don't know, I feel like we've discussed this. I think also this is you have hard time. So when you so you had a one-night stand, you decided and you kind of invested, and I think it kind of works also in, maybe this is how you do one-night stands, is where you are so afraid of falling into that trap again, where you overinvest or you take it very seriously and the other person doesn't. You completely do the opposite. You go have sex with people you don't like, you would never want to be with. You make these really safe decisions with people that you know they will not hurt you or they will not cause problems, but you also, it's safe because you don't really want it, right? Or you sleep with people who are kind of not your type, or who are unavailable. You choose people who are unavailable, even just emotionally, like you, and that's your way of avoiding you investing in something and having not I can't say that word. Reciprocated. Yes. So, and then when you do, and like, let's say you have a little bit of sex and it turns out not to be your thing. Let's say you have the sex and you say, okay, I like this person, I want to go there, I want to have the sexy times, and it turns out to be not what you like. Jeez Louise, you also have a hard time accepting that. You have a hard time saying that, oh, this is actually not what I want and I don't think I really like this person, so let's cut it off. No, you don't do that. You take that person a couple of years around the block to see if, to be sure, or to not hurt their feelings, or to just stand behind your decision, okay? You just be like, oh no, I made this decision, I guess I'll have to go, let's go to couple therapy and let's take sex lessons, and I'll just read books about it, and we'll just have to be better at it, and you'll force kind of a mismatch or like incompatibility. Yeah, Virgo, Jesus. And it all comes down to you kind of fighting yourself, okay? It's just who you are. You are sure about what you want. You take these things seriously, and just leave it at that. That doesn't mean that that's the truth. It's just how you feel about it, how you experience things, so that liberates you to then say, okay, this is how I feel about it, not everybody feels this way about it, and then you can sort of decide moment to moment to say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna decide, take a chance here, or you know, I like this person and this is the way I am, so this is how I'm gonna proceed, or you know what, I feel like I have to just go wild a bit and just have fun and not care so much tonight. But start with knowing yourself and not fight that. And yeah, stop fighting that. Stop fighting yourself and let go of things that don't work. Let go of things that don't make you happy, that don't fulfill you. Okay, stop forcing yourself to have to work with what you chose. That's nonsense. Okay, you're allowed to be this person and to shop around a bit and to drop this pentacle. Okay, that doesn't make you a bad person, not at all. I think that's where you have to kind of also make the distinction. Okay, this is who I am, this is how it feels for me, but that's not the way it is. That's there's no law saying that this is the right way. There's no law saying that because it feels heavy for me, that means that it's a bad thing or a good thing, you know? That's not the morality or there are no laws, there are no rules, okay? So just you have to decide for yourself, and you decide that by with your feelings. So if something feels heavy for you, if something feels important, then it is, and then accept that and then move on. And if the other person acts like it's not important, then you have to still own that for yourself, and then maybe speak up and say to this other person, actually, to me this isn't important, and if you handle it like that and don't respect that, then I have to go, and then or you hurt me, or this hurts me, and even if they then say like, oh, that's a bit overly sensitive, or you're taking it too seriously, or you're making it too difficult, well, that's too bad, then that's who you are, and that's their way of saying like, hey, because look what they're doing, okay? Even if that's the case, when you say, hey, I don't like this, because you're both in a situation and you speak up and you say, hey, I don't like this, and the other person says, hey, you're just being difficult or you're being too serious, that's complete disrespect, and you should hit them in the face really hard, because that's just a bullshit answer. That's completely disregarding what you just said, completely disregarding what the way you're feeling, and kind of just putting it on you and saying like, hey, this is not really a problem, you're wrong, because you're this way, and that's why I don't have to change or really react to this or adapt myself, right? It's a gaslight. Hit them in the face. Be yourself. Thank you, Virgo. All right, Libras, ready for your liberation? See what I did there? All right, let's look. You have, I mixed two decks together for your reading. We have the Lenormands with the Healing Light version. So it's kind of two things mixed together. Okay. Whoa. Okay, just admire the lights. This is kind of already balanced kind of thing. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, so we got this tower here. Passion. This is a huge, what's a beautiful word? Monolith. Beautiful tower. And these are beautiful clouds. Nothing sexual here. And then we have this knight with this heart. Wow, this really just looked like, yeah, two things, sexy times. Okay, what is the message here? Let's look at the other cards. Luckily, we have these. Okay. So we have this Ace of Diamonds. We've got this Queen of Hearts, Cups. And then with another queen, a Queen of Swords. Okay. Wow. And then with this Joker. Upside down. So the Fool upside down. Okay, sorry, I have to restart your video because there was a car and I wanted to fix the window, and man, I had this rage attack. It was like out of nowhere. It is. I've never sweared so much in like. I've never sweared so much in a long time. It was kind of nice. It felt nice. It felt nice. So, Okay, Libra, what I see going on here is there's this, look, there's like incoming passion. I think Libra, oh, it's upside down. That's interesting. So the balance is upside down. You're missing balance, Libra? Oh my God, okay, this is your problem. This is your freaking problem. This is the essence of the Libra, right? You want to be balanced, you want to look at all sides, you want to be scaled, you want to be correct, you want to be correct, right? You want to be overly balanced, and that is your disbalance. That is your disbalance, because no matter how you look at it, that way of being balanced is in itself a part of a balance, okay? You know I'm right. Think about that on your own time. This is how you fall in love. This is how passion comes to you. You really have this, okay, despite being this balanced thinking side, this Queen of Swords, you have intuition. You have an instinct. Passion comes to you very strongly. You have very strong feelings. You feel a lot of love coming in, okay? So this is how you make initial contact. This is how you go for things. You have this Ace of Pentacles. You see potential. You really fall in love with things, okay? And you have a hard time admitting to yourself because you're a Libra. So you have to think things through, and you have a hard time believing your own fairy tales in that, okay? But you feel it. It's like, oh my God, this is the perfect thing. I'm falling in love. This is like the one for me, or this, I want this fairy tale. And then because you're a Libra, you kind of have to tell yourself, well, that's probably just a fantasy or something, you're right? So you're your own worst enemy a bit in this, but forget that. You're just a Libra, but you have this incredible passion side, and you see potential. You see a lot of yeah, at the beginning of things, you really are the dreamer, okay? You really have no problem also opening up about this. You have no problem sharing your heart. You have no problem falling in love or being excited about this and showing that, okay? So you kind of also are really good at then expressing this to people and then going with this, okay? So you have this big romantic side, and that is at the core of who you are. That's just who you are, and you're a Libra, so that has nothing to do with it, right? But then, what the Libra does, you have sex a couple of times, or you go for it, and you go with these feelings, you go with this chance, this potential, this new thing, and then things become serious, right? And then you have a lot of problems, because then you have to mix a lot of these irrational feelings or ideas or these emotional side of you, right, with that other big side of you that is this very rational, think things through kind of person, okay? And then this is about building, like the longer term, okay? So you fall in love, and then the long term thing. So you get closer to people, you become intimate, and then this is maybe where things come wrong. This is where you become overly masculine, okay? This is a big penis, let's put it that way. And when you become vulnerable in this, let's say you become really excited and you make the first move and you make the first dates, and that's all what you do really well, because it's kind of calculated. You know how to handle this, and you also know how to enjoy this, right? You protect this really well. Sorry, I'm going into this too deep. And then things progress, and then suddenly you become vulnerable in this, because it's like, oh no, I want this, does this other person want me? And you kind of have trouble showing that. So I think you don't show your vulnerability anymore. You become overly masculine, you become overly shielded, closed off, and you kind of lose that fun side in you. It's like this side, this romantic night with all these feelings, right? That is, normally you're the fool here. Here you are the fool. You're amazing at this. When it first starts, you're like, yes, let's go for this. I'm feeling this. It's amazing. But it's in your calculated zone of risk. And then when things progress, you try to fake this. I think you put this facade on, kind of, even for yourself. It's like you stick with this. This feels good. This felt good. This is what you know. And then the deeper side of you, or the uncalculated side, the irrational side, the things where you don't know, where the other person maybe starts to have power over you, where things become, you can't live your life with these feelings. You have fun with these feelings. You love when they surge into you, but then when things become more serious, when you have to build this tower, or when you start it's even when you start building this tower in a relationship or intimacy wise or emotional wise with somebody, you become an emperor and you kind of become a dictator. Look, this tower is surrounded by all these sperm seeds, right? It's just swimming in masculinity, right? And it's missing the feminine side. I don't see trees, I don't see any decoration. It's very, it's overly masculine. So you lose this playfulness, you lose this passion, you lose the intuition, and you kind of become very closed off. And I think you disconnect with people. I think here you connect really well. You make the first steps, but then when intimacy comes, and let's be honest, that's the real side of sex, even when just a first date or one night stand, the superficial physical side is an easy thing and it's easy for everyone to go with, but to have really good sex, to have really good connection, you need to have that vulnerable, intimate side, or that part where you are open for something you didn't see before, or where, you know, you walk in front of you with this heart. You need to, that's how you have sex, with this heart right in front of you, and that's where it's supposed to be. You kind of fake this a bit, not in a bad way, not in a you're acting, but in a, you become uncomfortable, and you kind of, so you don't know what you feel all this, but you kind of don't know fully how to show that or how to handle that always. So you become overly masculine in that, and you a bit of a way of like, you just don't allow for things to be wrong. Then let's say you go for it and you feel this for this person, you have sex with them, and then you just, there's no room somehow for things to be not this amazing. You kind of over control this. Yeah, again, masculine, over controlling. Okay, and then let me just think like how I think what you just need to keep these two cards in mind. Really, this is the power you have. Okay, this is maybe the Libra power that you have, or the masculine power, or just you, or maybe not. Maybe this is for, like, you can also be feminine here, right? But this is about this controlling. So you have a very emotional, deep side, but then when it comes to being intimacy, or to being intimate, or deeper emotions, or to actually being more open for other people's perspective or reality, you become super analytical, and you just make it so intellectual, or so you just act so sure, or so I don't know. I think you know where I'm going with this. I'm making a bit of a mess of this, but I think I got it. If you are confused and really don't want more clarification, just ask me in the comment section, or for a private reading, of course. But I think we got it. I think what I said in the beginning is your Libra essence is not in balance with this romantic essence. This you shield his heart. You're not vulnerable enough, and that's a difficult thing to learn. Don't force yourself, but I think it starts with you stopping. When you're having sex, slow down, stop, look around, look at the other person, let them figure it out, okay? You don't always have to be this in front. I think you feel this pressure of when you have these feelings, to just go forward and be overly sure about this because you are afraid of missing out maybe, or I don't know. It's very interesting. It feels like it has a lot of deep layers. So please comment if you want to share your thoughts. I'm very curious. Okay, thank you, Libra. I hope your 6 improves tremendously and that you thank me, or not. I don't care. Like, I hope it helps. Bye. I don't know what I was doing. Hello, Scorpios. Let's look at your sexual healing issues. I have 2 decks that I'm mixing. The Lenormand Healing Light. So with these 2 big cards. Okay, they're supposed to be upside down, but I'm going to just put them up for a second so I can look at them. They have similar colors. Green, bluish. Bugh. A bit dreary here. Yo, what is the problem? Pentacles, a map, a book. Then these... Ooh. Okay. Passion in the sky. In the sky. In the sky. 2026, a lot of yeah, like Scorpios, like they like themselves, you know, so and that's okay, that makes Scorpios hot. Let's look at your baby cards. We have the 9 of Wands. This is for me reversed. Why do I put it there? I could just leave it. Then I have the 4 of Pentacles, which confirms what I just said. You thinking about you, like not greedy, not selfish, just, yeah, you like yourself, you like, let's say you have money and you like having money, so you like to save your money and not spend it. That's your choice. That's not a character trait, that's just a thing that you like to do, right? Same with yourself. I'm not finding the right words yet. Stargazer and the 8 of Swords. Okay, like I so know what this is about. I already had it. So my Scorpio friends, you're a stargazer. You like to dream. You have big imaginations. You have wild fantasies. You have a crazy mind, a big heart, a lot of lust, a lot of passion. You're just a dreamer in that way. Okay, you have a lot. You dream a lot. You expect a lot. You feel a lot. And that's what I mean with it's all in the air here. Like all this passion, all these pentacles, which could say like body things, you know, like sexy body things. It's all in the air, which means that you just see the sky full of potential and full of big energy, right? And you're proud of yourself. You like to show off with yourself. You like to, I don't know, have in that regard, or enjoy life with that, with things you have. You like to have things and enjoy life with that. Okay, so you like to have money, you like to spend it, kind of thing. And that's fine, and that's really amazing. Okay, and that's again, like the biggest message that I keep repeating here is like accept who you are in this regard. So that's who you are. Not everybody is like this, but you have to accept that first of all, that you just expect a lot of life. You have a lot of fantasies. You have a lot of wild thoughts. You have a lot of energy. So you need a partner that responds well with that. Okay, so you don't need a boring person who's gonna question everything you want or say or do. You need somebody to handle that fire. Okay, to be able to handle that fire. And who's not afraid of getting burnt, you know, it's not gonna complain that like, oh no, I'm like my feelings. But then, so that's one thing, and then this is where the problem probably lies. So you have a lot of these high expectations, a lot of these things. You're a stargazer, and then what happens with that is you live so in your head maybe, or you live so in your fantasies, that together with all these amazing thoughts that you can have also comes a lot of bad thoughts you could have. So you see a lot of potential, but you also see a lot of oh no's or problems or things you don't like. You see a lot of things you like, you see a lot of things you don't like. You have a lot of passion for something and it can be gone the next day, or you doubt yourself, or you don't know what you want, so you kind of are all knowing about this. So that's what happens too. So you're living in your head, you're having a lot of fantasies and a lot of wild thoughts, you're looking at the stars and you're having a lot of nightmares, right? So that makes you really busy, Scorpio, and kind of too much in your head. And that's not a bad thing, but you can also see how this is possibly a big energy drain and also something that makes you very ungrounded, and that okay, this is the card of a player, right? Nine of Wands is, this is holding on, this is sticking with something or staying true, and this is sort of giving up. So that's the card of the player for a lot of people, also for me. So somebody who just goes with things and then then stops, right? So he goes on a couple of dates, has fun, and then you don't hear from them, or they ghost you. Could be a trait they have, could be a bad thing, a toxic thing they do, or could just be somebody who is not that into you, right? That's nothing personal, that's just you're not their thing. But you seem to have that a lot, and it's more of a defense you have, because you're so afraid of people not living up to your expectations, or you not living up to your own expectations, or life not living up to your expectations, that you kind of hold back, or you get frustrated. I think you just get angry, or you get ashamed maybe. You know, it's a lot of, again, so where we started, accept who you are, accept how you work, okay? And that this is not a bad thing, but you need to learn to use that power for good. Just have these wild imaginations. Recognize when you're making problems that are not there, okay? That's a difficult thing. I've been doing that a long time, still learning. Just accept who you are, accept that you want a lot of things, and then, and this is the big one, guys, just believe that it's possible, and just tell yourself, look, I have a lot of passion, and I want to do something with that. I want a life that is fun in that way, you know, and I want relationships where I can really shine in this and have fun with this and explore this. I want to be me, okay? And then stay true to that, and then just expect these things to come to you, and trust yourself that you're going to try your best to get yourself there, okay? So that means that when you try something with a person and it's not exactly what you want, or you're afraid that this person might not give you what you want, that means that be more sure in that and say, okay, maybe not, maybe it can come, because this is something you need to learn, I think, is where you build a relationship with somebody. And let's say you're dating a boring person, okay? They don't have this passion stuff, but you kind of like them, then be open for things evolving, because that does happen. And passion can come in many different ways, and love can be very surprising. And sometimes when people make you feel safe, or they make you feel good about other things, sex can become also a whole new thing, okay? So you need to learn to stick with things and to just maybe see, you know, what is beyond the next mountain sometimes, and take that time. You have that time. Don't be so in a hurry. Just say, okay, I'm exploring this. If it's not what I want, I trust myself that I will recognize it in time. I will get myself out, and I will continue to keep trying to have this life with passion and great things that I want, okay? I'm never going to give up on that. That's just who I am. So if you're having sex with somebody and it's not matching that way, and you kind of know it, then stop barking on that tree, move on. If you're doubtful, take a chance, explore, try something else. Maybe you learn that person how to have better sex, because you have all the passion and all the ideas. So maybe speak out of that more, share that world more. Don't be so in your head, and you will see, if you talk about these things more, if you try these things more, you're not going to have a lot of these bad thoughts anymore, because this is all hypothetical. And when you try things and you share them, these things fall away, these things become more beautiful. It's automatic, and you don't have to be this player or this you can handle this a lot better by just being more open and clear about what you want and who you are. And then, like, look, if you're dating people and you're very clear about who you are and you're saying, look, I don't want to settle down, I really want to have a lot of sex or this, or I'm still looking, and they keep not hearing you in then that's their fault, okay? But just be clear about this. So say to people, yo, I really don't want anything steady or monogamous or this or that, or I really don't want to have something sexual with you, or actually the sex is boring, but I like you. Just be honest. Speak up, guys. Speak up. Stop living so in your mind. And then stop doing that, because then that's when you become this typical Scorpio bitchy person that hurts people and is like, yeah, but it's just who I am and I just speak my mind and then people get hurt and that's their problem. No, it's your problem for being not communicative enough in the first place and just saying what you mean in a nice way, okay? And then suddenly you feel the need to be bitchy about things, and then you're angry at people because you failed to actually stand up for yourself in the right way. Okay, Scorpios, really grow up. Thank you. Okay, yeah, if you're not having amazing sex as a Scorpio, yeah, like fix that. Okay, good. Thank you. That was all. Bye bye. Hello Sagittarius, how are you? How are you? Let's make your sex better. Nah. I have a mix of cards here. I have the Red Sonjas and the Rider Waite with the shiny colors. I'm gonna put them all open at the same time. I felt like doing that. Oh wow! Sorry, I was so. Oh wow, you guys, this is beautiful. No, they match really well together for some reason. I don't know why. They kind of are doing something to me. Just liking the colors, I think. And also here. Alright, Sagittarius, the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords upside down, the Four of Cups and the Four, so 4-4? And it was just 4 seconds in your video, I swear to God, that's amazing. Okay, anyways, you're shooting here, which is really good. This, okay, I don't know what this is yet, but this is the ending. This is you heading to calmer waters, getting out of this bored energy, out of this I don't know what I want, I don't know what to do energy, and being more sure, more calm, finding rest in this, rest in your, yeah, in your problems that are, what is this? So, okay, look, this is kind of the mismatch that I'm seeing here. As a Sagittarius, you should, I mean, you have a bow and arrow, so you should be good at it. So you aim and you shoot and you hit your target, right? And then this Knight of Swords is somebody who is, it's not a bad thing, because this could be impulsive or not acting, which could match this. Wait. No, it's like you not acting. That's the problem here. It's like, okay, you not acting. Why is this upside down then? Ah, Sagittarius, you're complicated. You're so fussy. You're so picky. That's your problem. You're so picky. You don't know what you want. You're afraid to make a move. When people get close, you run away. You hit something with your bow and arrow. You throw it on the floor. You're like, it wasn't me. I never. That's who you are. You're like, you shoot somebody with your bow and arrow, and then you act there like, oh, I never use a bow and arrow. That's so not me. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's your problem. Why are you looking? Anyway, it's so you. It's so you for some reason. So you don't act. Okay, so the camera died, and that gave me a second to realize what I was doing. So I was kind of like giving off on you guys, right? I was making fun of you or complaining about you, right? And that's kind of the point. That's the same thing you do. I was deflecting there because I couldn't figure out what the cards were trying to tell me. So I was just sort of going off on a tangent and kind of complaining about you guys. Making, how do I say that? I was causing a fuss somewhere about something. I was kind of making you guys how do I say this? Like you pick a fight somewhere to deflect from the fact that you don't know what's going on or you don't know what you want. And that's the same thing what you guys do. is instead of and I don't think it's this aware that you do it, but you kind of have, you're unsure of how to. Oh, my cat is doing weird things. Damn it, now I'm confused again. So it's the same thing you do. Because you're unsure what you're feeling, maybe what you want, who you want, or what you want from a person, or in sex, maybe. Let's say something maybe isn't feeling all too right, or it's not really gelling, and you don't really know how to fix it. You don't really know what the problem is, or if it's you. So you kind of pick a fight somewhere else, or you tend to put that energy somewhere else, right? And that has a bit of a problem, because first of all, it's creating a conflict where there doesn't need to be one. Second of all, it's maybe you're then making statements you don't really believe in. Let's say you're picking a fight about something silly that maybe, yeah, you think is annoying, but it's really no big deal. Suddenly it becomes a big deal. And you feel like you have to back that up, because in that situation, you know you're not feeling right. And this is your problem, Sagittarius. You are a fire sign. I always see Sagittarius as an Aries with a lot of experience. So you've grown out of that childishness or that impulsiveness. So you aim first and then you shoot, right? So you kind of have this duality where you have passion, you're very fiery, you have this deep emotional well that boils up, and that you don't know what to handle with, but that doesn't fit you. You kind of have this feeling of, I'm supposed to be more grown up in this. I know what I want and I'm sure about this. And you kind of don't like to be unsure here. And that's a bit of that's not an ego problem per se. That's more of a, okay, it could be an ego problem, but it's not. It's more of a, that's just how the world works. So this is a problem. Okay, it's not just that you just make an argument about something that's not that unimportant. It's that working with the people in this world and who think differently, who feel differently than you oftentimes feel misunderstood. You feel very misunderstood, and you end up in a lot of conflict just having to stand up for what you want or for your emotions, and you're kind of, I think, stopped explaining yourself or stopped fighting for this, because I think, what happened is let's say you're having a relationship or a friendship or sex with somebody, any kind of thing, and you have these complex emotions, right? That's who you are. It's more complex, but at the same time, it's also fire. So it's fast. It doesn't always make sense. It's just a lot of energy sometimes, right? And you feel that and you want to handle that. And I think you tried communicating that to people. You tried talking about this, but then people don't understand. People don't hear you right, maybe they become defensive. Maybe you end up fighting about things that were not the case you were trying to make, but because you're not sure about what let's say you're having an argument, you have these weird feelings. Okay, let's go there. You're having sex and you're having these weird feelings come up and you don't feel right. You don't feel so right, something is off and you don't know what it is. And you try to communicate that with the other person. So you say like, hey, something is off. I don't know what the deal is. I'm just feeling weird. So what does this other person do? And you've all been there. They go like, huh? Why? What's wrong? And you're like, I just don't know what it is. It's just feeling off. And they go again like, but why? What is wrong? What is the problem? And you don't know what it is. So that they kind of put you in this weird position of having to give an answer. So you look for the closest things you can come up with. And then you're giving answers that actually you don't want to back up, because you're unsure yourself. But the other person is kind of putting you in this position of like, give me there's a good reason now why we have to stop this fun time, because you're complaining, you're saying something is wrong. Well, then tell me what is wrong and we will fix it, right? So you feel pushed into a corner. And I think a lot of these bad experiences have added up to you kind of giving up, okay? And that's where we are here. So these cards are telling the story that I just told is, look, this is you in the dating scene or just in life, dealing with what you want, or let's say in the relationship. These are things that are okay, and this is the thing that's the problem, maybe something like that. Or maybe these are people that you're dating that are kind of okay, but this is really who you want, something like that. In any case, you are so tired of arguing, or you really don't know how to figure this stuff out. You don't know how to figure yourself out. You kind of block everything off. So that's what you do here. You just kind of let it rest. So that's good for you because you don't have to deal with these annoying 3 cups that are not that important to you anyway. So at least you're not having these silly arguments that are about nothing, and you're not making people angry or not getting into situations where you are defending words or something that you don't even want anyway. At least that's not happening anymore. But the problem is you're also not getting that one thing you really want, or you're not really getting that thing communicated. Wow, this purple is amazing. So this person here, that's you, you're kind of like letting this rest. You kind of have retreated, but also this passion that you really want is also on rest. And that's a bit of the shame here. So you have given up a bit, standing up for yourself here. And that's what this Knight is saying. Normally this Knight of Swords is somebody who, you know, it's the Knight, so it's the fire. That this is the perfect Sagittarius card, because this is who Sagittarius is. You're fiery, but you're from the Swords deck, so that's intellect. So this is sort of, let's say, the intellectual that can make a fast move, okay? It's not impulsive, it's sort of, this person just knows how to make a reflex move with a lot of experience behind his belt. I'm explaining this so overly complicated, jeez Louise. And you've kind of given up that side, you don't react that anymore because you just kind of want to save yourself the conflict. And you don't do that, but that just leaves you in this feeling left out in the cold. You don't get what you want. You're kind of alone in this battlefield, okay? You've come out of it, you're not fighting at least, but you're also not really getting what you want. And the solution is really here. I mean, I hope after these complicated talks that you kind of get the problem where you need the same message than the last signs is respect yourself. If you're in a situation and you're having these complicated feelings and the other person doesn't understand and you don't understand, then that is the deal, okay? And then that's too bad for the other person, and you're just gonna have to wait until you figure it out, okay? So next time you're having sex and you feel bad or uncomfortable and you say, hold on, I want to stop, I don't feel so well, and the other person says, why? What is the problem? And you say, I don't know. Stop there. That's my tip. That's something I've learned. You say, I don't know, I feel bad. Stop. Period. And you will see that if you stop trying to explain it yourself, stop trying to fill that in, because that's what the mistake you make. You think you have to back up your feelings with reasoning or arguments. You don't have to. You can just say, I feel bad, stop. And then the other person just have to say, okay, then that is the case. You put yourself into a bad situation when you think, I feel bad and now I have to figure out why, because I have to give a good reason, otherwise it's not valid. That is your problem. Your feelings are valid without any arguments, without reasoning, without any more thinking about it, okay? That's where the miscommunication lies within yourself, and I think that's where you miscommunicate with the outside world. You don't have to give reasons. If you are having a good time during sex or during a relationship and suddenly you feel really bad and don't want it anymore, then that is the case, okay? And yes, you will hopefully learn afterwards why and understand yourself, and hopefully the other person will as well. And please, by all means, try to talk to each other. Maybe the other person can help you figure it out. But first, you need to stop because that's where the miscommunication lies. When other people hear you say I feel bad and then try to explain it, but you can't figure it out, they are not hearing you. They are hearing you, I think I feel bad. That's what they're hearing. I think I feel bad. So they need to hear, I feel bad, that is the situation. And otherwise, they're not going to hear it if you keep explaining it or keep thinking that yourself it's not valid, because if you can't figure out the good reasons or there's no good explanation, or let's say you're dating somebody and they're really, really nice and you don't like it anymore, then you have to figure out why, or you have a good reason why you would stop that. No. Thank you, Sagittarius. I hope you hung in there with me. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Hello, Capricorn. How are you? So they told me to look at your cards before we started. That didn't teach me anything more, but I'll show you what happened. So I opened your cards, and then this amazing thing happens. You have 4 major arcana, which is pretty cool because I only used 10 of the cards from the Thoth tarot deck, which is like 78 cards, right? Right? I don't know, look that up later. So only major arcanas, and then I have this Hierophant and the Tower, and then I have the Aeon, which is like something, and then the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So luck reversed. The Aeon, what is the other card in the... I can't, my brain is freezing really badly, so I'm just gonna flow with this, okay? So I opened these cards, I saw these 4 major arcana, I saw this pattern of 2 upright, 2 down, and then they just told me, okay, now you're ready. And I don't know anything more. I think it was just for the initial shock, maybe. My brain is freezing so badly, but what I did think of was, look, it's kind of the same theme here. See how these 2 cards, the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower, are both 2, how do you say this, chaos cards, right? They're not planned. They're unpredictable. It's an emotional moment, right? It's unplanned. It's chaos. It's chaos. It's no control. Something crumbles. Something falls away that you didn't expect, and this could be anything, right? The Wheel of Fortune, here it says luck, but this could be also karma, the wheel spinning for or against you. Anyways, it's something you can't control, and these are 2 things that are very controlled. This is the Hierophant, this is tradition, but here it's more because Capricorn, I don't think you're traditional at all. I think you're actually probably pretty wild or pretty very... especially sexually, I think you're pretty good. Let's put it that way. However, how do I say this in a nice way? You are good if it's something that you prepared for or that you saw coming. Yeah, you kind of have this controlling thing, and it's not from a bad place because it's kind of coming from like... hey, actually, I'm really pretty good at this. I've studied a lot. I have a lot of diplomas. I'm pretty well prepared. So, but wait. The same thing here is that Aeon. This is kind of like destiny or like a plan. Things going according to plan, or things... It's kind of like in 6, you are enjoying the fruits of your labor. And... you don't, when you're having sex with somebody really nice, or you're having really good sex or something physical, I think maybe you see it more of, these are the fruits of my labor. This is something that I earned. This is something that I gave myself, rather than, oh my God, I'm so lucky that this happened to me. That's not you. So you really feel in the driver's seat. So, Capricorns, what can I say? I think Capricorn, maybe off, but I feel like this is all I need to say. Look, I think by saying that, you kind of see the problem as well, where, you know, I think this attitude makes you capable of taming all that fire and taming all that power you have. However, it's that same control that is sort of contradicting the fire you have. It's the same with creativity, it's the same with your sexuality. It's like you have a lot and talent there. I think that's what a Capricorn has. He has talent with that fire to make the jumps, to connect, to do something really cool. However, a Capricorn, a goat doesn't jump before knowing what place he's gonna land, right? So that's kind of you. You don't jump into anything before you know where it's gonna land. And well, let's say the only healing you need to hear is kind of just knowing, well, sometimes with sex, it can be really rewarding to jump without knowing where to land. And sometimes a tower or the Wheel of Fortune can be the best thing that ever happened to you. And you need to start realizing, Capricorn, that yes, in the end, you are in the driver's seat, and the good things that happen to us or the bad things that happen to us in one way or another are planned, are by our design. So maybe start, how do I say this? Maybe you need to just think, I need to work better together with myself or with the universe, and there are things planned for me. I need to allow things to happen then, okay? When you're the lead character in a movie, you kind of have to let the movie happen, right? It's you and the movie. So it's you and your surrounding, it's you and the other person. So you may have everything in control, you may have everything planned. Look how protected this is. Look how protected you have your idea and your joy here. When you're having sex, you're working together with somebody. So allow another person in your space that way, and allow for this tower to happen in the best possible way. You want to be surprised. You want your world to be shooketh, and you want your traditions and your old ways of seeing things to be broken. You want to be wowed. You want to be surprised. And I think you're standing in the way of your own surprise by your own kind of almost like discipline, iron will here, and that's kind of contradictory to that fiery nature you have. But it's at the same time it's your way of controlling the fire, and maybe also the way in life that you have success. Yes, that's really amazing, but that's also something you need to be aware of, that you let go of. Right? I think I made myself clear. Oh my God, Capricorns. Okay, sometimes you don't need to see where you land before you leap. That's what makes a bouncy castle fun or a pool fun, right? Same thing with sex. Damn, that was 1 minute. I could have saved myself a lot of time. Bye, Capricorn. Hello, Aquarius. Let's look at your cards. It's the Age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius. Alright, we have this nice blue here. You see that? That's nice, huh? And then we have the orange and the green. What's happening here? Right. Okay, give me a second here. Aquarius. So let's just. Oh God, Aquarius, really, I think I'm gonna make this the shortest reading of all, because you do not really need my help with this, okay? Sexually, I think you are the most free, and also the most free to actually accept healing this way, to actually accept sexual healing. I think that's a very strong way in which an Aquarius already heals and finds liberation, or finds psychological release in a way, right? Because you're in your emotions, you're all about change, you're all about this release, you're all about doing things different. So like sexually, what do I need to tell you? Nothing much, really. So what do I see here? You have look, you guys love trying things. You guys love getting out there. You love trying to be. You're all about like, look at this new thing, look about this different thing, and you steam forward, right? That's really nice. And like this is maybe the only thing, the only remark that I could maybe give you to think about is, and like let's forget Aquarius. Whoever is watching this might be very good at, when you have a new joy, when you find something new, something you like, something you've discovered, you really go for it. You become this Aries, this emperor. You're like, yes, this is amazing. I know it, and you envision it. You're all about it. Amazing. So you love enjoying new things and being excited about that, and that's where a lot of your sexual enjoyment and energy and passion lies. And that's amazing. That's amazing. But remember that that's you. You celebrate the new. You celebrate these things that make other people uncomfortable. That's where you thrive, and that's also where sex gets really fun, right? However, it's maybe there where you are in a bit of a disconnect, maybe sometimes with other people, or just are different, because these are new things. These are not so deep things. So something where you thrive and where you think it's like, oh wow, it's amazing, let's try this, is where other people are a lot more careful, a lot more self-aware, or maybe a lot more stubborn, a lot more hard, and not so easy to go along with you. And then I think where maybe further on, where let's say the new is gone, let's say you find something new and you try it a couple of times, or you really like it, and then let's say you go to an amusement park and you really love it and you spend a couple of days there, and then things become a little bit different because you've tried things a lot, right? The new is gone. So there's another period now where I don't know, like, you know where I'm going, and it's there where maybe you lose interest, maybe where you become boring, and I don't think that's the case, but I think most of all you're very afraid of this, or I think you're afraid of this. So maybe you're constantly trying to get back into this new fun energy, and you're not really allowing things to maybe find a little bit more of a deeper level in that, and not because you don't have it or because you wouldn't enjoy that I think most of all because I think you really crave something deeper as well, but because you're so on the look for this new, it's just kind of like what you do, and like sexually also, and maybe because you think that this is what people expect of you in sexually, like let's say in a relationship. Wait, there's an annoying car here. What does that mean? Letting things go, letting things wither away. This is choices, knowing what you want, making a choice, sticking with it. And this is again something, when I drew this circle in the beginning, I'm just gonna ignore this annoying car. I was so angry before already with Libra. I had like an anger attack. I'm just gonna look angry out the window. So you protect these deeper emotions. So you want to stay in this excitement and this happy and this passion, or this, you want to stay there. And when things become deeper, or when like all the layers fall away and it's all about you just really being you without all the fancy stuff around it, that's where you kind of become overprotected. So you protect your real you, your real emotions and the real intimacy with fireworks and being very passionate about, I don't know, being an Aquarius. And you know what I mean? I know what I mean. So if you're confused, ask me. Have a nice day, Aquarius. Bye. Hello, fish friends. Good. I have 2 readings to go. I'm tired. We're gonna get through this. My fishes, how are you? Okay. I have 6 cards. I mixed 2 decks. The Lenormand. Healing Light deck. Wow, I'm just a bit like, wow, this is a nice tree with hearts. A person, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, before I wanted to say anything, I kind of had this idea that the message that I wanted to give for as far as sexual healing goes is kind of the same I feel like I've been having for Pisces, or I've been understanding, or an aspect of Pisces that I've been that I empathize well with, and then I've been understanding maybe, or a story that I've been getting, whatever, is where you live so in your fantasy, in your head, in your imagination, that it's like, I could say it well like this. It's like you love the idea of this outline of this person you can imagine, that lives in your imagination, but you have difficulty with letting this become reality. You kind of like to keep it in your head as this outline. It's not super detailed, yet it's not set in stone, and there it's safe in your fantasy, in your imagination, right? And I think to avoid disappointment, to avoid heartache, to avoid, you think kind of that if you let this become reality, then this will become a disappointment, and that this fantasy is lost. And then in the end, you will only have this sort of tree with only these lost fantasies that life was just showing you this is not possible, and that you have to, I don't know, that life becomes this sad sort of land of lost dreams, boulevard of broken dreams, right? So you tend not to fill this in, to avoid this maybe. So that's my first instinct. It's a pretty strong first instinct, okay. So it was the right idea, thank you. And you think too much. This is you, yeah, really safeguarding this imagination, your heart, with your King of Swords. So this is your deep side. This is the side you show to people. Very logical, well thought through, doesn't get on the outside you're very calm, realistic. No, not really. You don't really show a wild side, maybe, or you don't really show those crazy fantasies or expectations to the world. On the contrary, I think you try very hard to show yourself the opposite of this to the outside world. Like, I don't have, like, you should have this image of, I don't have these, I don't know, what is that, like, I'm just a normal person. I'm not having these crazy dreams, or I don't expect that much, or it's almost like you're trying to tell the world constantly. It's like, don't worry, I don't have big expectations. Don't worry, I really don't expect anything. Don't worry, like, don't look at me. Don't bother with me. I'm fine living in my head, where I can feel free. It's like, don't really, like, you almost like you want it as least amount of, I don't know, like, the world, not give the world any chance to start filling in those fantasies, because then they would become real and you would lose the control there somehow, right? So another king and this burdens. So this is your King of Swords, intellectual. He goes like very planned out, like, but you know, that's an aspect of you that needs to come to the foreground for certain things to get through the Friday afternoon meeting, but not to control your love life or your sex life. That would be a weird position to put yourself in, or to be in, but you are there because you you'll keep this locked off so much. This is your passion king. This is the other king we need. This is the king you need for sex, right? This is the king of wands, the Pimmel king, and he thinks more with his passion, but he's still a king. He's still smart, but he acts with his passion and he goes for what he wants. And he's the opposite of this. He wants to reach higher than this tree or something. He has an unshakable faith in that, and that's kind of where you are a bit lacking. I wish you could transfer this confidence you have in this intellectual side and this side to this side. Why is that's a question you just need to ask yourself. Why am I so confident in my intellectual side and so inconfident in these going for what I want, or this passionate side? Why am I so uncertain there, and why am I so damn certain here? Because that's just as illogical. And why are they looking the opposite directions? You have a conflict, Pisces. Look, there are two fishes, there are two kings. They need to be in balance, so these kings need to be like this. No, damn it, this doesn't work. We could do this for a while. Okay. And then these burdens. Yeah, you just see more of you want to. You're like, okay, this is what I want. You said you make this outline. Like, that's what I want, and then you want to go out and get it, but somehow you feel blocked in that because of you just keep seeing these burdens or these hurdles. It's like going for what you really want is you almost see it as like there's no way it could be this perfect, so I'm already gonna have to deal with a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes, and probably conceit, and there's this huge sense of avoiding disappointment, and there's maybe hurt there, but I think it's just a huge sensitivity that you kind of have to work through, and that's a bit of an exercise, and I think that's an exercise that works through your imagination. I think it's where, okay, this is what you need to do, Pisces. It's like use that imagination for good. Because this is a solution you have to figure out inside yourself, not really with the world. When you go, now they're pointing together. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, hands. I knew the cat on my leg. God damn it. Bad kitty. So, our kings are looking at each other, this is what you need to figure out. So next time you go into your imagination, because in your imagination, you have no problems with this. You're free to want whatever you want and to go after it, and your King of Swords is happy, right? So it's in your imagination that you kind of have to invite your King of Swords in, and just, it's like you're dreaming of your perfect sex scenario or your perfect life, whatever. And try to do this, then try to invite your King of Swords in to just take a look at what's going on in your head, in those imaginations, in that world where everything is possible, and the real world can't muddy it with its technicalities or whatever. And then that King of Swords can start getting acquainted with the free spirit of this King of Wands. And this King of Wands maybe finally can sort of, you can find the communication then. So the next time in the real world, when this King of Wands is kind of trying to get ahead, this King of Swords can support it. Somehow in my head this makes a lot of sense. Like it's just getting these two aspects of yourself more acquainted, because now it's in the real world you're this, and in your head you're this. And you need to get both of them. I wish I could cut these out and just tape them. Pisces, I hope that makes sense. It does to me. So, sexual healing wise, you need to. This is what I feel like I've been doing in my head, like for a long time, working through my imagination, changing things in the way I imagine things. So that's where the trick is. So, let's say you're gonna masturbate, and the things you think about. Try to explore more there. Try to challenge yourself in your head. Let's say, okay, I'm always thinking about this, without judgment, and never any judgment. Let's try something else in my head. See what comes up. Or let's try to challenge these things a little bit just to understand myself, not never, because this is a tricky thing. If you're trying to do these things in your head with the goal of getting yourself to like something, or to, let's say, oh, I'm so done of always having to be so attracted to this one thing. What is that all about? It feels obsessive. I want to change that. It feels like a bad energy. I want to change that. Well, that's not going to happen, and you're not going to get a lot of cooperation here. You can only reach that part when you go there with curiosity, when you're so like, I really want to understand this part of myself. It's a valid part, and if I like that, that's what I like. I want to just understand it, and there seems to be a bad feeling around this that I also want to get rid of. And stop putting the icky feelings you get, placing that next to the thing you think is the reason. So stop putting a wrong causality there, like a cum hoc ergo propter hoc. It's like, it's not because two things appear at the same time that they are related. So when you're experiencing something in the outside world and you get a bad feeling, who says that both are related, or that one is because of the other? I think you need a little bit more of discipline in your imagination, or just kind of more of this way of thinking, because I think you're kind of just in your imagination are a bit like, I don't know, I think you're hiding, and I think you're refusing to zoom in on certain problems, and you're using your imagination to just hide away further instead of facing things there, because the point of your imagination is actually that you can kind of face problems there and not just imagine new worlds to run into, or other scenarios, so you don't have to think about that one uncomfortable one. I hope this helps, Pisces. I don't know. That was a weird one. So keep on swimming, my friends. Bye-bye. Aries, my Aries friends, my Rams, the last group. I'm so happy. And we are using the prettiest cards of all. Oh yeah, I love these cards. The colors make it so much easier for me somehow. I don't know. And also, I just like, special effects wise, I feel like I'm set. Aries, look at these rainbows. Rainbow in the sky. I can fly this high. Something in a book. Reading rainbow. I keep telling myself to read a book, and I keep refusing to do it. It's incredible. Like, there are some hints that I keep giving myself over and over again, and I'm so stubborn at actually doing them. It's incredible. I have to really take 5 minutes someday to talk to myself about that. It's pretty illogical, like self-sabotage wise. So I don't know, recognizable maybe. Oh, I'm so tired. My Aries. Let's talk about 6. King of Pentacles. That's a good sign. Means you got it. You got it. You know how to get it. You are you ain't lacking. Shit, was this upside down or the straight way up? I'm gonna put it like this. But this is the Aries card. 3 of Wands is super Aries card. Does it have an Aries sign somewhere? It should. It should, Mr. 3 of Wands. Where is that? No, okay, it's not it. So the Aries, that's planning, that's moving ahead. Like making your mark. This is victory. So this is so Aries. It's like, I got it. I want it. No, I'm it. Oh, I don't say this. Like I'm feeling myself. I want it. I got it. And then I'm weak. What is this? Okay, Aries. Oh shit. This is a little bit too recognizable and pretty easy message. So Aries, look. This is you on a good day. Owning it, feeling yourself, you see what you want, you go out and get it, you have a victory. That's a good Aries moment, right? But that doesn't always work. You're not always feeling like this. You don't always know what you want, and you don't always have victory, and the energy is not always this easy or not always this flowing. By the way, at the moment I'm saying this, it's Aries retrograde, and I have really suffered. And so I really know what I'm talking about when I tell you that we Aries people, we feel so strong, and we have a lot of strength, but we get so disheartened quickly. Things don't go our way, or things don't align perfectly, or we like, it's like we know we want to go out and get it. When we can't get it today, whoo, then you're gonna hear a lot of complaining from us, right? So Aries is kind of telling you that you're not always, it's not telling you you do this wrong, but it's, you have the tendency. And we're not even talking about real character flaws here, because we're talking about sexual healing, right? So the point that the cards are trying to make is you have the tendency to, when things do not go perfectly according to your way, when you're not feeling 100% or not the greatest in your skin, when you're unsure of what you want, all these small things that don't align this perfectly, that don't go from like smooth victory here, you have the tendency to kind of get emotional, to go up and down, right? To get angry, to get pissed off, to get sad, disheartened, all these kinds of things. I am burping, so I know. And it's difficult, because you have a lot of energy, and that's what people forget, to do this, to be this, to really plan and then go for it, to actually do that, to charge forward like that, to have that sight. That takes a lot of energy, and that's what people kind of forget, and Aries especially, is when you're here, when you're planning, when you're going for it, you have all this energy, this fire pushing at you, okay? So when it blocks, when things don't align, when you can't express it, when you don't know where to put it, or when you can't get it, you could say like, oh yeah, and then an Aries becomes really whiny, but that's not it. Then an Aries is stuck with an incredible amount of energy, right? And that feels shitty. That really feels shitty, because what happens when we block the energy? We get depressed, okay? Or what happens when it explodes? We get angry, or we get kind of emotional outbursts. So that what happens with an Aries, and it's not about being more strong here, or about having stronger character, or being more disciplined, or just not being so whiny. Not at all. It's about realizing, and that's the main message in all the videos here, it's realizing who you are. You are this big ass person that has a lot of drive and that has a lot of victory, because you have an incredible amount of energy under you, right? And the success of an Aries is determined in how well he can channel that energy, and how well he can put that in the right lane. Because if you put your energy in the wrong lane, it's not a victory, it's a loss, and it's a lot of confusion, and it's you being very poor and in the shit, right? So that's where an Aries ends, when he misdirects that energy and things not go the right way. So that's kind of the dark side almost, and that's what you have to realize with 6 as well, is you have an incredible amount of energy behind yourself. Just realize that. Become smarter in how you utilize that. Become smarter more flexible in what this can be, how you can be this King of Pentacles. That energy can exist in many different ways, and you can experience that in many different ways. Become more flexible in what can lie in the future, what you can envision, what you want. There can be more things. When you can't get what you want, or you don't know, try different things. You have a lot of energy, just use it. I think the biggest mistake for an Aries is overthinking things, or standing still, or tripping over himself, right? Just go. And I think when you fail, try again. When you fail, try again. And yes, be smart in the meantime, and become smarter in how you redirect your energy, because if you keep failing, maybe try something else, right? But it's not about the winning, it's about this the Aries getting this energy out and learning how to do that better. And the same with 6. And so it's not about handling disappointment better. It's not about not always getting what you want. It's not about that Aries doesn't have to be so stubborn. It's about knowing how you work and knowing how your energy works, okay? And then you have a big lion, so it takes some work to control that, right? So don't be so hard on yourself. And don't let other people make you feel bad for this as well. Because you already do it yourself, and that's a lot of work, right? God damn it, Aries. I hope you hear me. I've been Jeff. Have a very nice day.